If you guys remember from, I don't know what episode it was, it followed me home. Remember that I picked up this little butcher's knife off Amazon? Not Amazon, eBay. It is a Cutco number 32. I don't believe it's especially old, which is alright. It makes me feel less bad about what I want to do to it. I know Cutco's a good brand as far as like knives go. I believe they're technically owned by K-Bar, or K-Bar's owned by Cutco. I'm not sure which. So this knife, it's a little scratched up, it's a little worse for wear, which is fine. The edge actually isn't. No, it's sharp enough I don't want to slide my finger down it, but it's also not to my standards of sharp. It's got this like fake wood. I don't think it's Bakelite. It's probably some kind of polymer-ish wood handle. Which kind of has like a fake wood grain to it. So, whatever. It looks like it's got aluminum rivets. Maybe they're stainless, but I'm assuming they're aluminum. I don't want to rehandle it. I think I might give it to my dad. I'm not sure. I might keep it for myself. We'll see. See how it comes out when we're done with it. The blade itself is nice and straight. It's not bent. So that's good. So my plans are to, I think. So I've got this olive drib micarta that's already the perfect thickness to replace these handles with. It's just a slight bit thicker than what's on there. And I think when I replace it, I want to shape the handles slightly differently, more rounded. I think I want to put more taper in the handle going up to that choil. But before I do that, I need to get the old handles off. So, get the, I'm going to use the drill press vise, because I really don't want to start drilling this and have it whip around and take a finger off. So, put this in the drill press vise, and start getting rid of these old rivets. Let's see if we can find the center of one of them. You can almost see the center on this guy here. Yeah. Let's see. When the light hits it just right. So hopefully these whole holes are not as thick as these rivets are. Oh, that's already dimpled up pretty good. See that last one? I punched it and it started lifting up the handle. Well, it kind of worked. Kind of smells like burning rubber. See, this is where one of those rear swivel jaw vices would come in super handy. I know, I'm giving myself an excuse to get another vise. But I also lock this down. Yeah, I'm just going to go over like this. Wasn't expecting that. I guess I'm never using those handle scales ever. I didn't plan on it, but. So no glue holding them in or down. Maybe these are Bakelite. I honestly don't know how to tell the difference. It's an interesting plastic. Probably hang on to them just for small projects. Who knows? Might be handy for something, but not on this. See some old crud and grime. Clean that up on the wire wheel next. I apologize, I was not recording any of that. It cleaned up nice. Alright, so I've got my little sanding strop here, which really just looks like a tiny little strop. But it's a piece of leather glued to just a thin, it's about maybe a little under a 1/4 inch, piece of just wood. And then the other side is just flat. So because I'm trying to kind of like reestablish these bevels that have kind of been lost over time, I'm just gonna use the flat side. But if I were trying to kind of like blend out facets, I'd use the leather side that's back, that's got a little bit of give to it, so it kind of conforms to that. At least that's my plan here. I've used this on lots of axes before too, so. And this is just some Windex. Because I'm just trying to establish a new scratch pattern. Get rid of some of those old scratches. And if I don't remove every single little scratch, that's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to get it looking a little more uniform and nicer. I don't think I mentioned it, but this is 220 grit that I'm using right now, so it's not anything crazy aggressive either. Alright, so I've got this side sanded up to my satisfaction. Again, I'm not getting every single scratch out, because this is going to be used again. But it's just cleaned up a lot more. Cleaned up the handle area. You can see the side. There's the side before, a lot of uneven swirls and stuff like that. I want it to still have some character to it, especially with going with like the micarta handles. It's going to have a little more rustic look. So this is where we're at right now. Got the blade cleaned up enough. Like I said, it doesn't have all of the scratches up. That's okay. This is not going to be a perfect mirror polish finish by any means. It's going to be a very utilitarian knife. It's going to be used on the grill. Probably abused a bit. So, that is okay. It's not anything super fancy or special. But we're going to make it look cooler. So, my thoughts, I know I kind of mentioned it before. I've got some... this is, I don't think it's nickel. I think it's stainless steel. I ordered this a long time ago. Some pins. It's a 1/4 inch. So I plan on drilling out these holes a bit bigger to accept these pins. And then I also have some stainless 3/8 outside diameter tubing. So I think that'll make a cool lanyard hole kind of at the end here. Do we really need a lanyard hole? No, you don't really need a lanyard for it, but if you're in kind of a kitchen prep or something like that, or outside at the smoker, you want to have a nail on the something, you can kind of hang it up. So I think that'll work well. So the next thing that I need to do now, thinking through my correct order of operations, is tracing out the handle. Really, I've got the blade prepped enough where I'm happy with it. When it comes time to actually gluing it on and then sharpening it, I'll reestablish that tip a bit more because it is a bit blunt, and I do want a finer point on that for, you know, opening up a package of bacon or something like that, or you know, poking a hole in something. You know, it's a knife. You need to be able to poke with it, right? So, all right. Either way, first things first. I've got some green linen or green canvas, micarta. See, that's roughly what our handle's going to look like. So my order of operations here is I'm going to drill the first pin, put that pin in to keep alignment. Actually, what I need to do is drill these holes bigger. Let's do that first, because if drilling the holes bigger fails miserably, then I won't have already drilled holes too big on my handle scales, and I can still save these. So bigger holes on this. Again, so I really don't want this knife to come spinning around and hit me when I go to drill it, right? So I'm going to put a couple screws in this board just to hold the knife in place. And then clamp this into the drill press vise. Just some drywall screws and some scrap wood. Alright, we're going to hope for the best here. It's not cutting. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that's getting hotter than I want. So, we're going to have to get creative in other ways. Great. My thoughts are we're going to soak this with water. Probably should have soaked it before I put it on, but whatever. Figure it out. Now we're just going to heat it up. Alright, hopefully that did not ruin the temper on the blade. This still seems plenty cool enough. Like, this is cold to the touch. I'm just going to let this slowly cool down. Alright, so this has sat overnight. This is still wet, so hopefully kept it cool long enough. You can kind of see from the heat tempering, well, not the heat tempering, the anodizing, I guess, the colors, temper colors, that this is still a bit hard. Hopefully it will be soft enough to actually drill through, as well as those. really only one way to like test and see, and it's get it screwed back down and try. Let's hope. No progress. Let's try moving the screw and going for the middle one. Well, that one's super easy. Maybe the first hole's gonna go easy now. I think these drill bits are just trash too. If they weren't before, they're definitely trash now. Look at that. We are so close. I'm really at a loss for how to anneal this. I had this end glowing red hot. Like, not even just like, oh, I think I took the temper out of it. It was glowing. And when it cooled down, it's still so hard to drill through. My guess is that it's some kind of air hardening steel. Stainless. That's my best guess. Which I don't know how to anneal that. Yeah, I can do some Googling, but I think I'll just go at it with a file and hopefully I can open it up enough to just get some stuff done. Oh, I will say one thing. I'm not going to be worried about getting it hot. It's whatever steel they used is good for a kitchen knife because it can clearly withstand the heat and not lose a temper. Jeez. Alright, so now we've got our holes drilled. Somewhat begrudgingly, we'll say. But they're there. So now we're going to drill the first one, drop a pin in. While that's still in there, drop another one in, and we'll drop a... great, I don't think I got any of that. But we're drilling through the micarta handles. Alright, so then what we do for alignment and drilling the other holes is drop this pin in. Be our pin or our lanyard loop, whatever you want to call it. So that's about where the old handles were. I kind of like where they were before. We'll probably go back just a little bit and kind of keep it flat like that, and then Keep them a little rounded. There we go. Alright, so I think I've got things mostly prepped. I've got the surfaces of the handles roughed up a little bit, just to give it a little bit more tooth. Got my epoxy ready, a little cup to mix it in. Got some rubbing alcohol to clean it off where it squirts out. Got my clamps ready, already roughly at the right size. It's 5-minute epoxy, so the working time is not long at all, but we're going to roll with it. Already off to a great start. Probably should have been using the other side of the Q-tip. Whatever. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Probably should have degreased this blade. Hopefully the sanding with the Windex was enough, because we're rolling with it. So I want this tight enough to make sure there's no gaps or as little gaps as possible, but also not so tight I squeeze out every bit of epoxy that's in there. Kind of glue starve the joint. I don't think we're going to glue starve anything, so we're going to tighten it down pretty good. And then hope we don't epoxy these clamps, which is going to happen, to the knife. So hopefully we'll bust them loose. We got rubbing alcohol to clean up this section here. Alright, now we let it dry. And I'm going to purposely not throw this out so I can see how well it sets up, how well it cures. So, leave that sitting right here next to it. And we'll come back and check on it. Probably not tomorrow, but at a later date. Give it plenty of time to cure. You know what? Actually, we're going to call this part 1. Because I think this whole thing is getting longer than I was anticipating. And in part 2, we can shape up the handle. Maybe make a sheath for it, too. That could be kind of fun. Maybe sheath will be part 3. But, no. I'm enjoying how this is going, despite me fighting with those holes so bad. That was... I don't know what kind of stainless steel this is, but it did not want to cooperate whatsoever with annealing. So, yeah. Anyways, so part 1. Thanks for sticking with it if you made it this far. If you're curious to see how this turns out, follow along for part 2. Thanks for watching, everyone.